was America in the 1970s, and chicken wasn't just dinner, it was home. Picture a nation caught between worlds. The 60s had shaken everything loose, and the 80s hadn't yet arrived with their relentless pace. In the 70s, America was learning how to slow down, even when the world outside felt uncertain. Gas lines stretched around blocks, the economy stumbled, and families wondered what tomorrow might bring. But every evening, no matter how difficult the day had been, families gathered around one familiar thing: the dinner table. And more often than not, chicken was waiting there to greet them. Back then, chicken wasn't just something you ate, it was something you depended on. Affordable when money was tight, versatile enough to stretch across a week of meals, and comforting in ways that went deeper than hunger. A whole bird could become Sunday dinner, Monday soup, and Tuesday sandwiches. Nothing was wasted, everything had purpose, and every meal carried the weight of care. The kitchen was different then too. Mothers didn't follow online recipes or set digital timers. They cooked from memory, from experience, from what their own mothers had taught them over countless afternoons spent side by side at the stove. The knowledge lived in their hands: how the oil should sound when it was ready, how the skin should look when it was perfectly golden, how long to let the gravy simmer until it reached that perfect consistency that could make even the pickiest child clean their plate. And those recipe cards, oh, those beautiful worn index cards tucked into wooden boxes or slipped between cookbook pages, written in careful cursive or hurried scrawl, stained with decades of use, each one a small piece of family history. Grandma's Sunday chicken or Mom's comfort casserole. The titles alone could transport you back to specific moments, specific kitchens, specific people who had stirred love into every pot. Each card carried a story. Sunday dinners when the whole extended family crowded around a table meant for 6. Special occasions when the good china came out and everyone dressed up just to eat at home. Hard weeks when money was tight, but food still brought everyone together, proving that richness had nothing to do with bank accounts and everything to do with the people sitting around your table. Sunday was the crown jewel of the week. That's when chicken transformed from simple sustenance into something almost sacred. The bird would go into the oven mid-morning, filling the house with anticipation. Children would hover in the kitchen, sneaking tastes of gravy or fighting over who got to lick the spoon. Fathers would emerge from weekend projects, drawn by smells that promised comfort and satisfaction. When that golden bird finally made its way to the table, surrounded by mashed potatoes and green beans and rolls still warm from the oven, something magical happened. For a moment, families felt rich, not because of money, but because they were together. The outside world, with all its complications and uncertainties, stayed outside. Inside, there was only warmth, laughter, and the simple pleasure of sharing a meal that someone had prepared with their own hands. The cooking itself was an unhurried ritual. Mothers would start early, not because they had to, but because good food takes time. They understood something we often forget today, that patience is an ingredient too. The chicken would simmer slowly, developing flavors that can't be rushed. Vegetables would be chopped by hand, seasoned by instinct, cooked until they reached that perfect balance of tender and flavorful. Children learned by watching, by helping, by gradually taking on small responsibilities that would one day bloom into their own cooking wisdom. A daughter might start by setting the table, then graduate to stirring the gravy, then eventually to preparing her own version of the family recipe. The knowledge passed down like a precious inheritance, each generation adding their own small touches while preserving the heart of what made the dish special. That smell stayed with them long after childhood ended. Years later, living in their own homes, they would catch a whiff of chicken and herbs and suddenly be 8 years old again, standing on a kitchen stool watching their mother work magic with simple ingredients. The memory would be so vivid they could almost hear the old house settling around them, almost feel the safety of knowing that no matter what happened in the world outside, dinner would be ready at 6 o'clock. But then the 80s arrived, and everything began to move faster. Microwave ovens appeared in more kitchens, frozen dinners promised convenience, fast food restaurants multiplied like dandelions after rain. Time became more valuable than tradition, efficiency more important than the slow satisfaction of cooking from scratch. The handwritten recipe cards slipped deeper into drawers. Some were lost during moves. Some were thrown away by well-meaning relatives who didn't understand their value. Chicken never disappeared from American tables, but the stories around it slowly faded. The rituals that had once made mealtime sacred became casualties of progress. Families still gathered, but less frequently. Meals became faster, more convenient, less connected to the hands that prepared them. The kitchen, once the heart of the home, became just another room. The dinner table, once a sacred space where families reconnected after long days, became a place to grab a quick bite before rushing off to the next activity. But somewhere in a forgotten drawer or tucked between the pages of an old cookbook, a recipe card waits. Sunday chicken, written in fading ink, stained with evidence of countless meals, edges soft from years of handling. It's more than a recipe. It's a reminder of how America once lived, when dinner meant sitting together, slowing down, and feeling at home. The ingredients are simple: the whole chicken, some vegetables, basic seasonings that any kitchen would have. But the real recipe calls for something harder to find these days: time. Time to let flavors develop. Time to gather around a table. Time to create the kind of memories that last long after the last bite is taken. Because food isn't just history, Vipin. It's memory. And somewhere in the smell of chicken simmering slowly on a Sunday afternoon, we can still find our way back to a time when being together was enough, when simple meals created extraordinary moments, and when the dinner table was the center of everything that mattered most.